Welcome back to Hot Mike Sports, everyone. I'm your host, Ben Merrick. Today I'm bringing you guys the first ever Hot Mike Sports college football video. It's been a long time coming. I know the football season's been around, I think, 3 weeks now. I haven't been as much on my college football game as I normally am. Most every year, I know every team in and out like I would the NFL or the NBA, but this year, with the weird start, with the conferences starting at different times, I haven't really got to know the teams, especially since my favorite team, Michigan, is starting this upcoming Saturday. So I haven't been paying a ton of attention to it, but I have been paying some attention, that was rough, to at least some players and some teams, and I know what to look out for, and I know the contenders very well. It's separate from the others. The only thing is I won't really be able to tell you in depth about every single team like I normally would. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Heisman, and I'm going to be talking about the college football playoffs, my predictions, and teams I think you should really look out for. That'll all be in the Heisman and CFB, but we'll just talk about it all right now, okay? So this should be a little bit of a shorter video, but if it's not, just know I did a good job. Alright, so talking about the Heisman first. People are talking about Kyle Trask, which is Florida's quarterback right now, win the Heisman. He has 15 touchdowns throughout the 14 touchdowns throughout the first 3 games. The 15 is the record. Ridiculous. People are saying he's the Heisman this year, and I don't see him finishing top 3. Here's why. Kyle Trask has no legs, has no agility whatsoever. He's playing on a really good Florida team, don't get me wrong. That will finish the year top 8, but I don't see this Florida team making the playoffs. Right now they're in the picture, but I don't see them making it. I think in this day and age, in order to win the Heisman Trophy, you have to be a dual threat quarterback. If you have a strong arm, great, but you have to have some sort of legs, and Kyle Trask just doesn't have that. He also doesn't have the talent like Trevor Lawrence has. He doesn't have the talent like Mac Jones has or Justin Fields has around him. And those are the other 3 names I consider in the Heisman race right now. Trevor Lawrence is an obvious one. He will be every year he plays college football, which people are saying he might be playing next year if the Jets suck as bad as we think he is. They are going to suck. He might be back. Trevor Lawrence is a generational talent, a guy I expect to walk in as a rookie next year and be very, very good for whoever he plays for. He will always be a Heisman favorite, and I mean it's obvious why. He's a dual threat guy that can throw pinpoint passes and throw it 60 yards down the field. He's amazing. Mac Jones, mentioned earlier, from Alabama. He has all the talent in the world around him. Great coaching staff. And he's really, really played well. He's had experience. He's a redshirt junior. The only thing about him is I see it going a little bit more Kyle Trask way. At least he has some agility, but you have to have a dual threat quarterback to win Heisman this day and age, and Trevor Lawrence is just better. And then lastly, the guy I think who will win Heisman, it pains me to say being a Michigan fan, is Justin Fields. He's one of the best quarterback prospects since Andrew Luck. I mean, he's amazing. He can run like a running back. He can throw it like just the best quarterbacks in the game. Justin Fields, I feel like, is going to be a runaway this year. The only guy that can compete with him is Trevor Lawrence. Other than that, I don't see many options. Kyle Trask is not even close to that level. Justin Fields in Ohio State is going to be very, very dangerous this year. And I expect Justin Fields to be winning it. Drop down in the comments who you think will win Heisman. If I disrespected anybody, talk to me about Kyle Trask. Drop your comments. I love hearing you guys' opinions. It's awesome. So like I said, this might be a little bit of a shorter video. We're going to move on to the college football playoffs. As always, guys, 4 teams make it. I think it should be extended for sure to 8, maybe 6, and 2 teams get a bye. But right now, I'm going to talk about my top 4, maybe a couple teams that barely miss it. I'm going to go from 4 to 1. I'll start off with honorable mentions. I see Georgia, Florida, and Notre Dame being right on the outside. I don't think Notre Dame will have a tough enough schedule. And I think they're very inconsistent. At least that's what they've shown us. And I see them losing a couple. And with this shortened schedule, you can't lose a game. It's almost guaranteed that you have to be undefeated to get into the playoffs at this point. Unless it's a game like Clemson, Bama, like Michigan, Ohio State. It has to be super close and a super highly ranked game for you to scrape in with a loss. I don't see Georgia lost to Alabama, and it was an 18-point loss, but that didn't prove to me that Georgia was a bad team. It proved to me that Alabama was better than we thought, because Georgia played well. But Georgia's not making the playoffs with that kind of a loss on the record. You're going to see a ton of Big Ten teams maybe hit the top 10 this year and then fall out after a loss. They're going to end up, that conference is going to end up beating themselves up. I see Florida not having enough talent. It's that simple, just not being able to compete because of talent. They've already had a couple scares this year. I don't see them going as far as we'd like them. I don't really. It's the fact that it's a debate whether or not UCF or University of Florida is better than them. That's to me, that's why you shouldn't make the playoffs, because UCF is not. Sorry to all you UCF fans, but I'm gonna disrespect you guys. You guys just aren't as good as you guys say. Every single year it's the same stuff. But after that, we're gonna get into our top 4 right now. So at number 4, I have University of North Carolina. Absolutely loaded class this year. Definitely the best recruiting class they've ever seen, and they are still undefeated. They have an easier schedule. They're gonna get in with the hype around them and an undefeated record. I feel like there's no doubt that they go undefeated, and they're gonna have so much hype that I don't think the committee would kick them out. So I have North Carolina at 4. At 3, I have Ohio State. This might be a little bit low, but I don't think their team is as talented as the 2 above them. I see Ohio State going places. We'll get into that in a second, but Ohio State will be right up there. They could be at number 1 at some point this year. I wouldn't be surprised if these top 3 are mixed around. I wouldn't be surprised at all if number 1 was number 3 and number 3 was number 1. All 3 of these teams are top tier and on a different level to me. When you look at the rankings, these 3 are on a different level. So Ohio State's at number 3. Alabama's at number 2. It was tough to decide between number 2 and number 1, but Alabama was number 2. They had a dominant win versus Georgia. Very well coached team as always. They look super put together. They're not missing Tua. They have Mac Jones now. They are a great, great team that is, as always, a title contender. And number 1, Clemson. Easily the most talented team in college football. Trevor Lawrence is the best player in college football, one of the best quarterbacks in the last decade. I don't see that team losing. So I'm going to get into what I think will happen with these college football playoffs, saying that this is the bracket, right? Clemson will play North Carolina, and Alabama will play Ohio State. I got Clemson slaughtering North Carolina. Easy. Which would make Clemson move on. And then the Alabama-Ohio State game will be as good as the championship to me. I think Ohio State scrapes that one out. Justin Fields is better than that Alabama offense alone. Ohio State's defense is vastly improved, which was already a great defense. This team will go to the national championship and maybe win it. That would leave Ohio State and Clemson. That will be one of the most fun championships we've had in a long time. I think Ohio State's going to win it, as much as it pains me to say. Like I said, guys, I'm a Michigan fan. I don't want to say it, but this Ohio State team is very, very, very dangerous. And I think this is the end of Clemson's run. Maybe it convinces Trevor Lawrence to come back, win it one more time. We'll have to see. It should be a great, great year. I'm excited for the Big Ten to kick off and the Pac-12 to kick off this Saturday. And I'll always be dropping these videos for you. So if you enjoy the college football videos, you enjoy the fantasy football videos, the football talks, the basketball talks, subscribe, guys. It's not that hard. It's literally just clicking the button. And if you enjoy this one in particular, please leave a like. I'd really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.